So I've always wondered, when I'm watching these movies with these high-speed chases and all these car crashes and stuff, are they really destroying real cars, or are those shell cars, or is it CGI, or what? Because if they're real, that is such a waste. Alright, so Fate of the Fierce is the latest installment in the Fast and Furious franchise, and in this movie you have Dom, played by Vin Diesel, and he basically turns rogue on the team, and now the team have to come get him to figure out why he went rogue and then stop the new bad guy. And if you've watched the Fast and the Furious franchise, they bring back Jason Statham, and he has to team up with The Rock and Dom's team, and all kinds of stuff happens from that point forward. Now let me start off by saying that kudos to the Fast franchise, because I mean, this is the 8th movie. Typically a movie can do 2, maybe 3 if it's successful, but this is number 8, and actually it's probably the only franchise I've ever seen where the movies seem to be getting better with each one that they do. Because I mean, the first couple were good, but I mean, the latest ones were like off the chart. So if you've seen any of the movies from this franchise, you already know what it is. They started out as regular street racers doing what street racers do, which is drag racing throughout the city illegally, to somehow working with private sectors of the government. And with that happening, you get all these mind-blowing stunts and tricks and car chases and over-the-top scenes. And for some reason, they seem to work. Now let's start off with the acting. They brought back the original crew. Well, not the original, not from 1, but they brought back the cast that's been with the franchise for most of it. I mean, you have Tyrese, you have Ludacris, you have Michelle Rodriguez, Vin Diesel, The Rock, Jason Statham. I mean, you got the whole crew, and they keep bringing them back, and I love that about this movie because I love continuity. So to keep seeing the same guys together, the chemistry just continues to grow with each movie, and you can see that with each new installment that they have, that these guys really seem to have formed some kind of bond of friendship off screen. So it's safe to say that the acting in this movie was just fine. Now, with that being said, I do have to give my complaint, and my complaint is Dom, aka Vin Diesel. I mean, not his acting, it's just his character. How did he go from being a street thug and a street racer to being like the King of Kings? I mean, they introduced The Rock in one of the movies, and him and The Rock fight in a tie, which I don't believe, but okay, maybe. Then he fights Jason Statham's brother, who is like this elite fighter and this mastermind, and he beats him. So then he fights Jason Statham, who's a black sector assassin for the international governments of the world, and he beats him as well. Now, granted, in each of these fights, he ends up beating him very narrowly. It's never like a just truly decisive win. But with all that being said, with them bringing The Rock and Jason Statham back for this movie to catch him along with his crew, it seemed like this should be a pretty easy deal. But of course, for the drama of the movie, it wasn't. And I'm just sick of them making him, he's like Superman or something. I don't know. Now, not to say that it isn't an enjoyable plot, because it is. I just had to get that complaint out about Vin Diesel because I don't know what happened to make him a superhero all of a sudden throughout this franchise. Now, one of my favorite things that happened in this movie is Tyrese. I mean, he just really brings a lighter tone to the movie. He seems like he's playing himself on camera. Like, a lot of this stuff is ad-libbed, and there's this one scene in this movie, I literally cried tears laughing. So if you go see it, remember when they get on the subway, Tyrese is going to say something, and it caught me off guard, and it just had me rolling. But he had me rolling throughout this movie and all the rest of them, so he's definitely one of my favorite characters in this. And speaking on The Rock, I really loved in this movie how they really show the difference in style between him and Jason Statham's character. You have The Rock, who's this big bulldozer, brute strength guy, and they really went out the way to show how powerful he was. You have Jason Statham, who's this agile, nimble, fast guy, and they really showed that well too, and I just loved how both styles looked on screen. Now, as far as the pacing of the movie go, the pacing was just fine. From the opening credits, like you know from watching all the other ones, it's pretty much action almost soon as the movie starts, and then it continues. You have sequences throughout the movie from beginning to end. Now, when it's downtime, I mean, like I said, the acting and the relationships and the chemistry is so good with the cast that it doesn't really slow down that much. I mean, because you still have one-liners and jokes, and they're always going at each other's throats in a friendly way. So the pacing of the movie is perfect for the franchise. Now, the visuals of this movie were great. I mean, like I said in the intro, there was a lot of carnage and car wrecks and explosions and over-the-top stunts, and I really liked them. I mean, of course, you being logical, you would look at this and be like, there's no way he would be dead, they would be dead, the government been stepped in. So logically speaking, a lot of this stuff is very, very, very left field. But from just enjoying the movie and shutting that little part of your brain off, this was a very visually, aesthetically pleasing movie. Alright, so to bring everything back around, the eighth installment in the Fast franchise, The Fate of the Furious, was actually a very good movie. The cast did an amazing job. I have no complaints about the actors. The chemistry that these guys display on camera is amazing. The pacing of the movie is just fine. You have a lot of stunts and action sequences and explosions and fist fights. So it's very, very, very pleasing in a pacing standpoint. The storyline in this one is actually kind of a twist. It caught me off guard, but I really enjoyed it and I liked it. And they made it seem like they could possibly do a ninth one, so look out for that. And the visuals in the movie were good. I mean, they fit the whole tone of the movie. So with all that being said, I definitely have to say that Fate of the Furious is movie magic must see. Alright, so that's it for this one, folks. So for the comment convo of the day, I want you to let me know, if you were part of Dom's crew, who would you be and why? I personally love The Rock, but I'm not a big guy and I'm nowhere near as strong as they portray him in the movie. I honestly don't think no one is. But I really feel like I'd be Jason Statham. I'm huge on speed and agility and stealth, and his character just portrays that, and he's just smooth. So I feel like if I was in the crew, I'd be Jason Statham. But anyway, who would you be and why? Comment below and let me know. Now, as always, if you liked this video and you thought it rocked, like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me, Mike Proc. Later.